into it, guys. We've got pre-bans coming out right now, and we have Big V with the first pick going up against TRUEWHALE here in our first match.
A lot on the line here. Again, Gianna pre-ban. Tian lane pre-ban coming out from Big V is very interesting because Big V, he has a ragdoll, and that's probably why he does that, but I also know he has a Tian lane, so kind of interesting to take out his own unit here. So I think he's going to want to be able to rely on ragdoll at some point in the game. Or maybe, I mean, it could be oracles as well. Big V is probably likely going to take an Oliver first. I think that's probably the strongest pick when you have such a great box. You're going to Oliver into some sort of an LD pool. He also has a Volantis, which is why he's probably taking out the Tian lane. But I really think at this point, oh, he's going with the Narsha Steel early on. Interesting here. Yeah,
very interesting for Big V to take a unit like that as a first pick. Not really signaling anything, but just taking it away from TRUEWHALE.
I mean, Narsha's weak to a lot of things here. It's weak to Nana's potentially, but definitely weak to AoE cleave. TRUEWHALE's gone with the turn 2 route, so he's leaning in with a Nana and a Masha, so he might be leaning in Dominic later and trying to enable that, but he's leaving this wide open. Big V has a choice here. If he wants to lower his speeds down to TRUEWHALE and kind of tangle with like Shizukas and things like that, or if he wants to, you know, go a little faster. He's leaning with the Limo, which is a little interesting here. Leaves his draft still open-ended to be able to defend against whatever TRUEWHALE's bringing.
Yep, let's see what TRUEWHALE's going to be drafting after seeing a double Oracle in the form of Praha and Lima.
Yeah, we might see some sort of, I think we might see some sort of Juno. Definitely the Dominic makes a lot of sense. Dominic Juno is interesting here. The weakness of this draft here is that TRUEWHALE's kind of open to a lot of direct damage. So if Big V wants to go in and bring in like a more Changpong, more AoE cleave, he's probably going to be able to dominate off the bat. It's going to be pretty consistent. A Robo F29 would be also very interesting to see, but again, there's a Juno on the field, so maybe we don't see that. But I would like to see, he's either going to cleave or do some sort of direct damage here. I don't think we're gonna see a lot of passive play.
Well, Big V taking a lot of time here. Dark, pure vanilla, and he locks it in. I am very unsure about this pick here. But then it's Tsarian as well coming out of Big V, which is interesting,
wow.
to say the least.
So we see the dark vanilla cookie, the first time we have seen a cookie in SWC, I think. So this has, the third skill is the most impactful skill, obviously. It has a non-contact skill 3 that strips and slows. So that's exactly why he's bringing in that dark vanilla cookie here. TRUEWHALE's leaning into that ragdoll last, probably going to have to take out this Tsarian here, but doesn't actually have to do that either. But Tsarian's the most likely ban here. And I think if I'm Big V here, I'm probably looking at some sort of a Nana ban or the ragdoll ban. Either or, I think, are the threats here. And then just trying to pick off units, survive and pick off units from TRUEWHALE.
We'll see what happens. We're taking this all the way down to the wire here with these two gentlemen here. Bans are Tsarian and Ragdoll getting banned out in this first match.
Yeah, so exactly as we call it here, TRUEWHALE obviously can't get Oblivioned, and Big V doesn't want to face that constant attack bar boosting that's coming out from TRUEWHALE. So we'll see if that Narsha's going to be able to do a lot of work here, or if TRUEWHALE's going to be able to hang on with that Nana and eventually overpower his opponent.
And then his HP lead for both these players. Big V kicking us off with that dark vanilla cookie.
That dark vanilla cookie, non-contact skill 3, only lands one slow on the Masha. It's the important one to land the slow on, but again, does not land it on all the units.
Yep, that's right. We could be looking at a skill 2 from this Nana here to just get a defense break onto the field, but choosing to go with the skill 1. No Despair Stone's going to be coming out here. We could have a third skill just to protect his team a little longer, but we'll see what happens with Big V.
Yeah, very good restraint from TRUEWHALE, knowing that if he used skill 3, it would be, you know, same result as skill 1. He would need to land Despair anyways here. I think TRUEWHALE does need to use Predictive Future and does use it, but unfortunately misses two strips.
Yep, doesn't get the full strips out there for TRUEWHALE. Fortunate for Big V though, he has all skills available. Chooses to use that Daydream, put everybody to sleep here. Gets everybody to sleep, and Narsha looking to kick things off and do some big damage.
Yeah, so Big V there definitely needs to use the speed buff here and take advantage of the Narsha doing a lot of damage. Otherwise, he's going to be facing a Masha that might pick up the vanilla cookie.
With the additional turn as well, almost finishes off that Juno. We get a little additional turn coming out for this Dominic though.
That's a big proc there because he's going to be able to dismount this this Narsha, but instead goes to the pure vanilla cookie, which is incredibly tanky there.
Yeah, very, very tanky unit to go after that, and it survived very, very well. Branding effect still landed on top of it.
Yeah, so we're going to see this Juno go down soon. And of course, landing the Oblivion on the Nana secures the kill on this Juno here. So very effective, very tanky Dark Vanilla Cookie.
Yeah, very tanky, very effective indeed. We're going to see a little bit of damage coming out from this Nana. Nana with only one orb available right now. Defense breaks are out there. Still Oblivioned, by the way.
Still Oblivion here, so TRUEWHALE might lose his Dominic. If TRUEWHALE loses his Dominic, he's going to be in a lot of trouble. That Narsha does have speed buff, so it's going to move in front of that Dominic again.
Yep, no additional turn coming up for Dominic. Dominic able to remove that unit from the field. There's still one orb left on top of the Nana. And Masha looking to deal some big damage here. No additional turns going to be popping out. We're going to see a big skill 2 coming out. I'm sorry, just a skill 1 with additional turn going out onto the Dominic.
Yeah, but that Dominic's going down here. That Nana is Oblivion for 2 turns, so there's going to be put TRUEWHALE in a hole here. TRUEWHALE needs to shake off this Oblivion, and that Masha's going to need a proc a couple times.
Ooh, nice dismount there on top of the Narsha, though.
Yeah, nice dismount on the Narsha. That speed debuff is pretty big onto this Masha here. This Masha's going to do a lot less damage here, and that speed debuff is what kept him from killing that Narsha.
Yep, we're going to see a little bit of skill 1. Potentially go with the skill 2. He wants to remove that immunity off of the Masha, or he might just go with the skill 1. Goes with the skill 1, builds up a little bit of attack bar. There's attack break and slow sitting on top of the Narsha right now.
Yeah, TRUEWHALE I actually think is in a little bit of an advantage here because that's a big proc here. It's going to be able to do a lot of damage on the Masha. I think TRUEWHALE was in a good spot here because he does have a stack on Nana, and it's going to get 2 stacks once his Narsha goes down.
Yep, there goes the Narsha. Does have the 2 stacks. No more Oblivion's going to be left onto the field. So, I mean, he's going to get a lot of value whether he likes it or not with the Nana here.
And I think that was a little bit early to use skill 3 on the Lima here because he could wait a little bit longer and get a little bit more utility out of that. BIGV needs to keep this Masha dismounted, and once that Masha's dismounted, start doing some damage to the Nana, or even just go after the Masha a couple times.
Yep, there's that damage coming towards the Pra being the big sustain unit here. Does get the dismount on top of the Masha. You can see more skill 1s going into this Nana, though. He's not going to be touching this Masha at all.
I think TRUEWHALE just needs to go for a home run and down the Lima, actually. Going after the Praha is kind of tough here because he's going to need to do a lot of damage, and I don't think he presents enough threat to do that.
Oh, he made the swap, though, onto the Lima, and you can see Nana not taking this damage too well from both these Oracles.
And I think at this point here, BIGV should put the team to sleep and just work the Nana and not let Masha return back to beast form so that, in this case, there's no immunity on the side of the field.
There's those sleeps landing. There's that damage coming in. No additional turns going to be coming out for TRUEWHALE here.
Yeah, and again, I think that's a little bit preemptive. Actually, not preemptive because there's no slow debuff on TRUEWHALE's side. But again, BIGV just needs to keep TRUEWHALE slept and work that Nana so that Masha has no way of coming back.
Yep, a little bit of poke damage with the invincibility, not dealing any damage there. Skill 1 into the Nana. Here's another skill 1 into the Nana. Get rid of another orb. 1 orb is going to be left here.
Yeah, 1 orb left, but again, that Nana doesn't have a lot of HP. This Masha's not going to be able to do a lot. So unfortunately for TRUEWHALE, I think that window of opportunity is closing.
Definitely closing indeed. With that additional turn, though, we're going to have that 3rd skill to heal up the team of BIGV. So it is looking very good for BIGV in this first match.
Yeah, I think TRUEWHALE needs to go for broke, needs a proc, does not get the proc, so unfortunately going to lose his Masha.
Yeah, 100%. Definitely losing this match here. So Masha goes down. No orbs going to be reviving here. 100% going to be a BIGV victory here.
100% going to be a BIGV victory, and we're going to see this start off putting TRUEWHALE on the back foot.
Yep, and there you have it. BIGV with the first victory against TRUEWHALE.
Wow, we saw our first cookie in SWC. Interesting picks there.
Definitely interesting.
Very interesting picks there, and I think it was a little interesting to see TRUEWHALE go after that Dark Vanilla Cookie. I mean, I guess he had to test out this damage and test out the tankiness of that. In the best of 5, you definitely want to do that. But now he knows that that Dark Vanilla Cookie, very tanky. That Oblivion did so much work onto that Nana, and I don't think that that Nana's on Violent. I think it's on Despair. Could be wrong. We'll see later if it stuns or procs. We haven't seen either. But that made a big deal. Difference in this match because it allowed BIGV to take out 2 units off the bat.
Yeah, definitely. Because in that moment where he took that Dominic and went into that Cookie, instead of going into the Narsha, was kind of that moment. And I guess you're saying, like, in a game 5, it definitely makes sense to test out these units to see where it's going to go for the next potential 4 rounds. We have our pre-bans from last time, Tian Lang and Gianna. They are now available in this second round between BIGV and TRUEWHALE. New pre-bans are locked in, and that is the Narsha getting pre-banned and the Lima getting pre-banned as well.
So Narsha is definitely the LD unit of choice that both players are fearing here. Lima definitely doing a lot of work. That invincibility made it very awkward for TRUEWHALE. So both pre-bans make a lot of sense here. TRUEWHALE wants to bring this to a slower matchup. Takes the Shizuka here. I wouldn't be surprised to see BIGV go with some sort of like a Praha Oliver. And that's exactly what he lays down. Wants to bring in the ability to flex fast or slow and keeps it open-ended with these 2 picks.
Yeah, great call on the Oliver and Praha coming up for BIGV. He really enjoys that Praha. So many of BIGV's matches, he has the Praha on the side of the field here. TRUEWHALE looking to draft here. He's got 2 more picks, maybe into response to that Oliver and Praha.
Taking the Ragdolls, I think is a little early. We're definitely, I would definitely think we're seeing We could see the pure vanilla cookie again. We could also see a Tianlang. I think both would be viable options, but he needs to have an answer to this Ragdoll at this point in his draft because he only has one pick last. So he needs to bring something that counters the Ragdoll at this point, whether it's that dark vanilla cookie or whether it's a Tianlang. We're going to need to see one of the two in order for him to be in a position to have a good last pick.
Well, there's that Nana being drafted by Big V, taking that away from TRUEWHALE here. He's got one other pick here, but he's not showing he's got a ton of damage, so I'm expecting to see a big damage dealer coming out of Big V to help capitalize off of the Nana orbs.
Okay, so we don't really see an answer to the Ragdoll here. I mean, the Gianna is a little bit of an answer, but that means that Big V is almost kind of committed to banning out the Ragdoll. But at the same time, he could, if TRUEWHALE doesn't draft like his Volantis or something like that, Big V could also cleave him down. So that's also a viable option at this point.
Interesting. We're going to see a Riley and Dominic coming out for TRUEWHALE. That can bring a lot of sustain to the table here.
Interesting sustain here. I think Riley is probably the scariest unit for Big V here because of if it procs, it presents immunity, and it also just allows a lot of damage and healing over time here. So if I'm Big V, that's probably what I'm angling to ban out. But this last pick is going to tell us a lot about where his head is at. Again, I'm surprised we hadn't seen the Tianlang. We're not going to see the Tianlang here for sure because the way this is run out. And he goes with the Juno. Interesting pick.
Yeah, definitely an interesting pick. We got 3 Oracles on the side of Big V, bringing that Juno and locking it in.
Yeah, so I think the most likely bans are either the Dominic or the Ragdoll here. I mean, when you have 3 Oracles on your side, the Ragdoll is going to do so much work. So Big V's approach here was probably just to ignore the Ragdoll, pretend it doesn't exist in the draft, and just like play your draft against the other 4 units here. Doesn't ban out the Ragdoll. Interesting choice here. So you're going to have 3 Oracles pumping lots of attack bar into TRUEWHALE's team, and you're going to see that Dominic do a lot of work, take a lot of turns.
Yep, definitely, and I do like that ban on top of the Oliver as well on the side of TRUEWHALE banning that out there. But let's see what happens, guys. We get in the second round here with TRUEWHALE and Big V.
And a lot of this is going to come down to the artifact quality of Big V because 3 Oracles have a lot of additional damage, and he's going to need to down a unit pretty quickly because this Ragdoll and Dominic combination is going to be so oppressive, going to do a lot of damage over time.
Yeah, it's interesting. He chose not to put the bombs down there because he knows Shizuka's on the other side of the field there, and we get a lot of damage. Branding effect is going to be landing on top of that Gianna as well.
Definitely a lot of damage. I mean, we see 2/3 of the Gianna's health gone. If that Dominic had proc, that Gianna would be dead, and we would see the Ragdoll finish this off. So TRUEWHALE definitely in a pretty good spot here off the bat.
Yep, definitely. Chose to go with that 3rd skill there to get the attack buff up here. Looking to put a little bit of damage into that Gianna as well. I think Gianna's going to be dropping here.
Yeah, I'm surprised we didn't see skill 2 coming out earlier to force a strip from his opponents here. This is going to be a lot of damage coming out from this Ragdoll with the attack buff.
Yeah, we're definitely going to see a skill 2 coming out of Juno here. No choice, because, I mean, you're just going to push the attack bar anyways, whether it's skill 1, skill 2.
Well, I think the play is also your Praha has skill 3 available, so Big V definitely should be thinking about using skill 3 to allow him to lap. This Gianna is going to go down right now, and Big V needs to prevent that Dominic from teeing off on him.
Yep, almost 15k, but the additional turn is going to be popping out with an attack buff, sitting on top of Ragdoll, finishing off that Gianna.
Yeah, and there's no need to use skill 3 anymore. That's an absolutely massive proc here, so at this point here, that Nana does not have a single orb on it. That Dominic's going to do a ton of damage.
Yep, it really is. A lot of damage coming towards Big V's way here with no more forms of revival until he can take a unit down, but he doesn't have a lot of damage. Big V's lacking the damage to really pump up these orbs.
Yeah, definitely lacking a lot of damage here, and this Dominic's going to do so much work. Should go onto the Praha to lower its attack bar, and that Riley's going to be able to pick up his team and provide a lot more damage and healing.
Yeah, beautiful heal block. Additional turn popping up with a big skill 2, finishing off another unit looking so good for TRUEWHALE.
Yeah, TRUEWHALE's Dominic looking so good, doing so much damage there. Big V looking a little puzzled, not liking his situation, and we're going to see this even up 1-1 really soon.
Yep, most definitely. Looking for a Despair Stun, looking to capitalize off the defense break, sitting on top of the Ragdoll. Not going to matter too much. You can do skill 3 to help cleanse, get more attack buffs up for 2 turns.
Yeah, and I think if he wants to end this game a little sooner, he could do exactly that. Just let the Dominic do its work here. TRUEWHALE really, at this point, again, we've stressed this button over and over. The most powerful button in the game, the auto button can be used here. It's not the emote button, it's the auto button.
Well, I don't think either one of these players is going to be using that today. Nice little Despair Stun, though, is going to be landing on top of the Ragdoll, and we've got just more damage coming towards this Nana's way.
Yeah, more damage coming on this Nana's way here, but again, at this point here, there's no way TRUEWHALE can lose this game. It's about what happens next.
Yep, correct. Correct, absolutely correct. We're going to see more cleansing, healing coming out of TRUEWHALE. Just taking his time here. Both players understand what's going on here. Big V thinking about his next match already.
Yeah, both players want to go to Korea. That's the prize at the end of the day here. So everything that they want to do here, they want to test damages, they want to see HPs, they want to know how much damage you can pump out to units and how tanky things are is probably what they're testing at this point.
That is correct. TRUEWHALE taking round 2 away from Big V.
It's kind of interesting that Ragdoll was left on the field. I mean, that made it very awkward for Big V because when oracles go off, they allow your units to be cut, right? Because it boosts attack bar. Oracles crit all the time. By design, they're on 100%, 90% crit rate. So you're always going to allow your opponent to boost those strips. They apply crit so many times. So I think that Ragdoll is just such an influential pick there. And that's why I think Big V should have, in his second, the middle picks, should have addressed the Ragdoll and didn't. And that's probably what cost him there.
Let's see what happens. We're going into a game 3 with Big V TRUEWHALE. Pre-bans from last time. Narsha and Lima are going to be now available as we get into game 3. We have new pre-bans getting locked in right now. I'm assuming these guys are going to take their time here. This is a very important game 3.
I mean, there's so many LDs you could pre-ban. I don't think Big V needs to take out the Tianlang like he did the first time. I mean, we didn't even see a Tianlang come out from TRUEWHALE the other time. So I don't think the Tianlang is necessary. I think Big V should just draft this normally. Probably take out the Dominic. That's a source of volatility. Dominic enables so many things for TRUEWHALEs, especially, it's a TRUEWHALE Dominic. It does so much damage. It does 2/3 of a unit's health, no attack buff, nothing. So this would be a player ban that I would advocate using here.
Yep, most definitely. These guys are really going to the wire with this pre-ban here. Going almost all the way down to 0.
Yeah, and you just look at the body language here. I think Big V already knows what he's pre-banning here, but TRUEWHALE really taking his time takes out the dark vanilla cookie.
No way. Look at the smile on Big V's face. The respect.
The respect. TRUEWHALE not messing around, not wanting to have fun with these new and unknown units here. But of course, I think that's a great pre-ban here. Doesn't want to deal with the volatility that brings because he wants to run it back, but not let Big V dominate his Nana like he did earlier.
Yep, that's right. It is the Narsha first pick coming out of Big V. TRUEWHALE going to be taking that Nana once again. And one other pick, probably going to be that Masha as he took that other match.
Yeah, likely could be a Masha. I mean, Dominic would be a lot weaker. So I think Masha has a better survivability. You don't instantly lose a unit off the bat of your opponent proc. So Masha definitely makes a lot more sense. And so Big V has a number of ways in which he can respond. He can go with the same way he's done so, which is exactly what he does, the Lima and the Praha.
Yep, double Oracle once again for Big V. TRUEWHALE looking to respond to see all of that attack bar gain coming out of those 2 units if he potentially drafts that Ragdoll here.
He could potentially draft that Ragdoll, but instead he goes with the first run out like last time and goes with the Dominic Juno.
Yep, Dominic Juno coming out for TRUEWHALE. Chooses to lock it in now. Big V looking to wrap up his draft after seeing a Dominic Juno.
I mean, that's a lot of threat coming out from this Dominic here. And if I'm TRUEWHALE, I'm probably thinking about taking out the Narsha here because you don't want to face volatility. The Praha is also a very fair ban. Big V going in with the Barbara is interesting here, and probably one more water unit. Maybe like an Abellio would be a pretty interesting pick. I think Abellio would be great. Carlos is an interesting one. Learning from Raigeki earlier, something that's great into a Nana.
It really is great into a Nana. I mean, we saw the Carlos absolutely pop off. I think that's going to be a very interesting unit that TRUEWHALE's going to have to consider here with this 5th pick.
Yeah, TRUEWHALE's definitely got decision points here. Goes with the Ragdoll as we thought he would take earlier, but goes with it now here. So all the Oracles kind of awkward. Barbara definitely also in a kind of an awkward spot here. Ragdoll's just such a good pick. And I think Ragdoll is a force ban. I think honestly Ragdoll or Nana, either is a force ban. Probably the Ragdoll because he laid a Carlos, so he's likely not taking out the Nana. So Ragdoll probably the ban. And if I'm TRUEWHALE, I mean, that's a lot of aggression. I might be... takes out the Carlos.
Wow. Takes out the Carlos. He doesn't want to have to deal with that. If he takes out a unit, Carlos would have then boosted up his own attack bar and then cut in front of something there. So maybe you just wanted to get rid of that. Also could be the next volatile unit.
Yeah, so we're going to see if Big V can get a proc on the Narsha off the bat, he might be able to burst through that Nana. So look to see if that happens. If not, TRUEWHALE might be able to claw back in the game with that Dominic.
All right, we've got Barbara kicking things off here with Big V. Barbara with all skills available, of course. Let's see what's going to happen here. How is Big V going to start this match?
Yeah, and Big V's looking to see how the attack bars line up with the next units here to see how he wants to lay it out, which ones to strip and which ones to do damage with. So that's exactly what he's looking for when he takes his time and assesses a situation like that.
Yep, goes in, protects himself. Definitely not going to use a skill 3. He doesn't need to put anybody to sleep here. He's got protection with his invincibility and immunity.
Yeah, but putting up that invincibility and immunity is kind of awkward because that Juno's going to be able to full strip this team. So he needs to down this Juno right now. But even if he does, there's a Nana Orb, and there's going to be a lot of strips coming on the side of Big V.
Yeah, most definitely. There's that defense break there landing. And Dominic definitely looking a little low right now, but it is protected by that orb. Not the kind of strips TRUEWHALE was looking for.
Yeah, not the strips that TRUEWHALE's looking for, but all he needs to do is land defense break onto that Lima and use a Dominic to take out this Lima to feed that Nana on orb.
Yep, I think that is going to be it for Lima. That's just so many dots there. Finishing it off right there. The dots don't give the orb.
Dots don't give the orb because it died on Big V's turn. So fortunately for Big V, that Nana doesn't gain a stack. But again, that Nana still has one orb, and that's a lot of damage coming out for the Dominic and also Masha.
Yep, that is correct. We're going to see a little bit of damage coming towards this Juno. Potentially just going to keep feeding damage into the Barber, looking for the dismount, but I guess he decides to swap that onto the Narsha instead.
Yeah, at this point, Narsha provides defense break, provides so much. That's a massive stun.
Big stun right there. We can see a ton of damage getting fed into this Narsha, looking for the dismount from the Dominic, and he does receive it.
Yeah, and the Masha should take out this Narsha right here. Gets 2 orbs onto the Nana, so it looks like TRUEWHALE's going to be taking this home. Again, Barbara on Swift is not going to be able to provide enough damage over time to allow Big V to come back.
Yep, there it is. We got one of the orbs down. Dominic's going to be coming back here. I think he can just keep pummeling in the damage and try to get the dismount on top of this Barber for sure.
I think he can also hit the auto button or walk away from his tablet at this point because that Barber's on Swift. It's just not going to do enough here. And TRUEWHALE also has 2 orbs, 1 orb on the Nana. It's about to be 2 orbs, so it's just too much to deal with. That Dominic just does so much damage.
Yeah, so much damage. It's crazy the kind of numbers that Dominic's able to put out here. That's definitely going to be it for Big V because I do not see this Praha doing any forms of soloing, but the additional turns are going to be popping out here with 2 orbs sitting on top of the Nana.
Yeah, definitely not going to be able to take this one home here. Big V scratching his chin, kind of just thinking. I think he's using this time to think and assess the situation. Shows that he's got experience, knows that this match is lost, but he needs to think this through and figure out how he wants to approach the next match.
Ooh, big deep breath there from TRUEWHALE as he takes Big V down in round 3.
Very impressive showing from TRUEWHALE there. Not scared of the Narsha. Knows he has enough damage with 2 heavy damage dealers and a Nana that if he's able to kill units over time and stack these orbs, he's going to have enough protection on those units. I really think Big V needs to be thinking about pre-banning that Dominic or addressing it somehow because that Dominic has been TRUEWHALE's key to victory so many times.
Yep, you're putting out way too much damage. This Narsha Dominic that both these players have, and the Dominic has just been forming so well. I feel like whoever's taking the Nana right now is drafting the more aggressive draft to try and keep up with these orbs here, but it's working so well in the side of TRUEWHALE.
Yeah, and the way Big V could address that is 2 ways. You either pre-ban it, you ban it, or 3 ways. Pre-ban it, ban it, or you cleave it. That's the weakness of a Dominic is if you go into cleave it. And of course, the difficulty of drafting against TRUEWHALE is he has Volantis, he has speed leads, and he has a Ragdoll. So if you're going to cleave, you need to bring in Robos, you need to bring in Dark Vanilla Cookie, and that's why TRUEWHALE's ban of the Dark Vanilla Cookie is so effective. Really.
It was a great pre-ban coming out of TRUEWHALE here. And that Dark Vanilla Cookie is going to be available here in this next match here, this game number 4. And of course, the TN-Lang is going to be available. New pre-bans coming out here, and I'm assuming both these players are going to take just as much time as they did the first round.
Yeah, I think Big V is actually taking the most time here. I think TRUEWHALE looks pretty confident. If you look at the camera there, it's just Big V knows what's on the line. If he doesn't win here, he's got 0 chance of becoming a back-to-back America's Cup champion, as he's expressed that he wants to do.
Yep, that's right. Pre-bans locked in. Narsha going to get pre-ban in. Oliver's going to get the pre-ban here.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if Narsha's the correct pre-ban from Big V. It's always a fine pre-ban, but TRUEWHALE has that Dominic. That Dominic's been so oppressive. And he also has Masha, so there's a lot of direct damage coming from TRUEWHALE. Those units kind of substitute in and out very well. I would like to see Big V, if he's not going to cleave, steal that Dominic to address it, because it's definitely something that's been winning TRUEWHALE a lot of games.
Definitely. You can see TRUEWHALE look to the side there. He's trying to figure out, does he really want to lock in this Shizuka as his first pick here up against Big V?
Yeah, and I think TRUEWHALE, so far things have been going his way here. I don't like Shizuka first pick personally, but it works. It can do a fine job. Big V probably is going to lean into his Praha Lima type combinations over time, as we've seen here. But there's always room to think about other ways to draft this approach. Goes with the Praha and the Masha here, so we're going to see TRUEWHALE probably lean into some sort of Dominic play again.
Yep, let's see what happens here. Looking to respond to the Masha and the Praha. I feel like Big V just needs maybe adjust his draft and move away from these Praha priorities deep into this draft. TRUEWHALE's not prioritizing a Praha at all.
Yeah, TRUEWHALE's definitely not prioritizing the Praha. Takes the Dominic early. I mean, we've just seen how impressive that unit is. Probably like 120 efficiency plus. Like, it's tanky. It does a lot of damage. That Nana and the Dominic synergize so well. And that's exactly what BIGV needs to do to counter that Dominic, is to bring in Tableau, Changpeng, and probably finish this draft off with some sort of a Robo G92 or Robo F29. Some sort of a Robo here would allow and solidify AoE control. So TRUEWHALE's going to need to recognize this and address this right now.
Yep, I couldn't agree more. I thought that was a perfect draft. They're taking the Tableau and the Changpeng to help change and readdress what BIGV has been doing here. But TRUEWHALE, with the last pick, we have the Ragdoll, and of course the Leo coming out. And obviously, that's not what any Tableau user wants to see, is a Leo come out to the field.
So if I'm BIGV, I'm probably looking to ban out the Leo at some point. If I'm TRUEWHALE, that Changpeng is probably what I want to ban. When I lay these two down, the tentative ban right now is the Changpeng because it does so much into these units. So if I'm BIGV, I'm looking like I probably want some sort of Oblivion type unit if I'm going into this. Maybe a Tesla. Savannah telegraphs this a lot. Means you have to ban out the Leo here. So TRUEWHALE knows that Savannah's coming online here. So it'll be interesting to see. You know, I think the Ragdoll's going to need to do a lot of work. And he probably is going to need to take out either the Changpeng or the Savannah, because having those two go off is going to be too much to handle.
Yep, Savannah's going to get the ban here, and so is that Leo, of course, in this draft here. We've got speed leads for BIGV and an HP lead coming out for TRUEWHALE. We've got game number 4. TRUEWHALE could take it home right here, or BIGV can hold on to go into a game 5. Let's find out with Changpeng kicking things off for BIGV.
And BIGV has a violent Tableau, so we know he has 2 different Tableaus in his box. Very interesting layout here. But again, that Ragdoll is going to make it so awkward because he's going to crit here, and I think TRUEWHALE's going to cut.
Yep, well, we got almost a full strip, not getting it onto the Nana here, but that's not too much value lost for BIGV, though.
Yeah, and TRUEWHALE going for the lucky defense break, trying to get that. If he landed that, that would be a dead Changpeng, but does not land that. But that's so much damage on the Changpeng.
So much damage. If he had that branding effect, it would have been over. Even a violent proc, it would have been over for that unit here. But we do get a violent proc coming out of the Shizuka here.
Yeah, not exactly sure if he wanted that violent proc, but that's great use of skill 3, provides immunity to his entire team. So I think TRUEWHALE just needs to let that Dominic take one more turn, and I don't think BIGV has an answer at this point.
There's a little bit of damage, a little bit of poke damage coming towards the Shizuka, trying not to crit, but he did anyways. Ragdoll looking to pummel in more damage on top of that Changpeng. Changpeng still alive here, does have that 3rd skill to heal up.
Yeah, it does have that 3rd skill to heal up. Probably needs to use it because those immunities have 2 more turns each. So I don't think BIGV has much of a choice here. He's in a lot of trouble. He doesn't really have strips, though. That Praha, so lucky.
Wow.
Got that proc.
Beautiful additional turn coming out of BIGV. That Praha now coming in online here. Big strips. Not getting this, the immunity off of the Shizuka or the Ragdoll.
Really lucky proc. But again, that crit does make it very awkward because that Ragdoll is giving him a lot of attack bar. Tableau does use that skill 3, but again, BIGV's on the back foot here.
Yep, definitely. He's going to have to use the serious matter to at least push back that Dominic so Dominic doesn't take out that Changpeng here.
Yeah, and TRUEWHALE at this point here needs to find a way to get this Changpeng down, needs to start stacking orbs because that Mosh is going to hit really hard.
No defense break into the additional turn. I think Dominic's still going to live here.
Dominic definitely still going to live here, but that Praha is going to be able to auto-attack that Dominic next. So Dominic might go down to dots, which is actually worse because TRUEWHALE's going to burn a turn on that Dominic.
Yep, definitely. Oh, the additional turn once again coming out for the Praha. Dots are going to kill that Dominic here.
Wow, and that was a very interesting hit on that Dominic again. BIGV took a gamble. If he procced too many times, he would actually kill that Dominic, which would revive it and kill his Changpeng.
Yep, there is the Dominic coming back here. Serious Matter is available to push back all the attack rolls inside of TRUEWHALE. Things are looking a lot better now for BIGV with that 3rd skill that just went off.
Yeah, definitely looking a lot better for BIGV. That Dominic's going to go down here, and TRUEWHALE's basically on the back foot. Shizuka, everything is slept here. BIGV's in the commanding spot.
Yep, definitely is. It's so funny how things can just turn around just like that. But we've got a skill 2 available. He is just going to use that skill and doesn't want to wake anybody up just yet.
Probably going to go after Nana because it doesn't really do very much. Everything else is a very effective unit here. BIGV is in command here. It's going to do a lot of damage. Has a lot of cycling, a lot of control from the Changpeng Praha combination and the Tableau. So TRUEWHALE at this point is going to basically see a 5th game.
Yep, we're definitely going to be going into a game 5 here. You're going to see that big skill 2 coming out there. Nice little stun landing on top of the Nana here. We got a big skill 2 getting some defense breaks out here. Masha able to take advantage, big advantage over the defense breaks.
Yeah, those are big defense breaks because those are 2-turn defense breaks here, and that Masha's going to do a lot of damage. Might even go after Ragdoll at this point here, but that's kind of risky, but does go after it, secures a kill, and TRUEWHALE's down to 2 units.
Yep, definitely secures that kill there. Would have been bad if you didn't get that kill on Ragdoll. Ragdoll would have had Torrent available. Doesn't matter here, guys, because Big V takes round 4 away from TRUEWHALE.
Wow, and if Big V did not get that proc on that Praha there, it would have been game over. Because TRUEWHALE was using that Dominic to his advantage and basically picking off units one at a time. That Nana is such great protection with that Ragdoll. Your Dominic's taking a lot of turns there. It's also quite tanky. But Big V was able to get that proc, which set up his Chung Pung for that skill 3 AoE reset.
Yep, most definitely. We had a lot of damage coming out from TRUEWHALE. He had a great start to that match, but he just wasn't able to capitalize on anything after that. Well done for Big B for holding on and being able to come back there and taking us into a Game 5. We got the pre-bans from last time. The Narsha, the Oliver, now available in this Game 5 match between Big V and TRUEWHALE. New pre-bans coming out now.
I think TRUEWHALE takes out the dark pure vanilla cookie, to be honest. As much as we like to see content, we like to see new units here, that unit kind of has the perfect kit, especially into the way TRUEWHALE likes to play, which is a little bit more passive, a little second turn, but like passive with a good counterattack. I think that dark vanilla cookie makes it very awkward for him. So I think that's the perfect pre-ban from TRUEWHALE. And Big V could take out the 10 Lang as he's always done so.
Ooh, and there you have it. That Dark Pure Vanilla getting the ban, and so is the Ragdoll getting the ban here with Big V with the first pick.
Yeah, so Big V's good. I mean, we've seen him use that Lima Praha a lot of times, right? We've seen and Gianna a lot, and that Ragdoll is basically such a strong counter in the Oracles that he has to address that by banning the Ragdoll there.
Yep, Narsha's going to be the first pick, taking that away from TRUEWHALE. TRUEWHALE looking to respond potentially with the Shizuka that he's been bringing a lot to these drafts.
Yeah, probably the Nana Masha though, as we've seen often. It's probably just going to be those two. If I were TRUEWHALE without the pure vanilla, dark pure vanilla cookie on the table, I think he would be comfortable to run this back many times.
Yep, let's see what Big V is going to be responding with double Oracle. Once again, that's why he's banned out that Ragdoll. Don't have to worry about that unit here.
And I think we're going to see the same run out with Dominic Juno here. This is exactly what we've seen in the first couple of matches here. Earlier, TRUEWHALE had a very commanding victory with that Dominic Juno. I don't see why that would change. And it does change somehow. He doesn't want to lay the Dominic now, which is really interesting. Dominic's been doing so well here. And I wouldn't be afraid of procs if I were you, because 22%, if you can win 78% of the time, that's a pretty good odds here.
Yep, most definitely. The Shizuka is going to get a lot of value on the field because of that Lima and what she brings to the table. There's a lot of defense breaks, of course. Of course, we're going to have our immunity and everything. So Shizuka is going to get the value here, but it's not as aggressive as TRUEWHALE could have been with this.
And we're going to see a more Chung Pung here. I think we're going to see a lot of aggression coming out from Big V or Robo. Oh, Miles? I'm not sure about the Miles here. I would prefer a little bit more AoE control because his team is so AoE dependent. You want some sort of attack bar reduction. The Miles actually is a little weaker to me. It's still a strong unit. You got a lot of fire on your opponent's side, but the Miles doesn't change the state of the board and doesn't really affect the attack bars very much. So I definitely think it's a little bit of a missed opportunity from Big V. TRUEWHALE does eventually get that Dominic online. So I think TRUEWHALE's probably at a good spot in this draft here. Probably just wants to take out either Praha or Narsha at this point, just to eliminate a little bit of that volatility. And if I'm Big V, I mean, that Dominic is probably something you want to take out.
Yep, there it is. Dominic is going to get the ban here, and so is that Narsha going to get the ban. And we have our Game 5, guys. These are the units, these are the teams. We have Big V and TRUEWHALE. Game 5 looking to lock in their spot in today's America's Cup final.
Yeah, and at this point here, that Miles is going to be a lot more effective because we see that it's going to pummel in a lot of damage onto this Masha here. So we have 3 water units into a Masha here. TRUEWHALE doesn't really have a lot of damage outside of this Masha, so it's going to be in trouble here, I think.
Let's see what happens with Miles. Looking for a skill 2 stun. Does not get the stun. Does get the strip, though, on top of the Shizuka. We've got Water Ryu more with the second skill. Big strip tech bar pushback into despair stuns. No.
No despair stuns at all. Has a decision point if he wants to use skill 3 or not. We're going to see Praha be able to use skill 3, provide speed buff to have this Miles hit a lot harder. So he has a decision point if he wants to use it or not. If he does use it, that Miles is going to hit like a truck.
It really is. Let's see if he chooses to use it. He's definitely thinking about it right now, and he does a skill 1 into Shizuka.
And I think it's perfectly okay to be conservative like that. Miles is incredibly fast at this point with all these buffs. Going to do a lot of damage, and I think Big V is just going to lay damage into TRUEWHALE's Shizuka, take it out over time here. And I think TRUEWHALE's in a lot of trouble. I don't see too many win conditions here. He's going to need to get a lot of value from this Juno.
I think he may have to use that 3rd skill to protect his team, or choosing to go with the skill 2 on himself, though. I mean, I think I still skill 3. You got to protect yourself from what the Miles is going to be doing.
I think he can save the skill 3 because he might not die right away here, but this Juno needs to get maximum value and strip everything right now.
Oh, and that is maximum value with the Despair Stun sitting on top of that more as well. You can see skill 1 probably, no, skill 2 going into TRUEWHALE's team.
And this is a perfect time. This is why you have skill 3 here. If he does this Miles is going to do a lot of damage. He's going to have speed buff to lap TRUEWHALE's team. So I definitely think he should be using Daydream here, and that's exactly what he does.
Yeah, does not get the sleep, though, on top of Shizuka, but Shizuka might be the unit of focus right now.
Well, it doesn't get the sleep on the Shizuka, so he may even change course and go onto the Juno here. Instead, decides to go after Shizuka, and if he can strip here, he's going to be in a really good spot.
Let's see what happens to the Shizuka. Big V looking for the strip, does not get it. Soul Protection does save the Shizuka. Shizuka comes back with a violent proc here. Maybe even just trying to go for it onto the Miles.
You definitely go onto the Lima there because you want to do a lot of damage with this Juno. So that's an actually massive proc from the Masha.
Yeah, really big proc there. A lot of dots sitting on top of this Lima as well. Is this going to be enough damage to drop the unit? It is not just yet.
Yeah, but unfortunately for Big V here, TRUEWHALE's going to be able to take out this Lima later on, which is going to give his Nana a stack. You almost want that Lima to die on your own turn. Otherwise, his Nana's going to gain a stack, and that's massive.
Yep, there's all the buff. Shizuka bringing in so much value to the table right here. We're going to get a stack coming up from Nana. He has to finish off this unit to gain these kind of stacks here. Juno looking to potentially go for the Miles here. Any Despair Stun's going to be popping out. We will see.
At this point here, TRUEWHALE just looking to take out a unit here, build these stacks up. TRUEWHALE looking like he's in a great spot. Big V doesn't have a way to come back, really. That Moore is running out of steam here, and Miles not really doing much.
Yep, defense breaks all over the field. We've got skill 2 available, chooses the skill 1, that Moore, and we got that good poke damage coming up from Shizuka here.
Yeah, a lot of poke damage coming from Shizuka here. And again, Big V down to 2 units here. We might see a new finalist for America's Cup.
Yep, that is 3 orbs sitting on top of this this Nana. That's a lot of protection for TRUEWHALE's team here.
And this is going to be a really, really heavy heal coming out from this Juno. That's a lot of dots. So this Masha's going to take a lot of damage here, but this Juno is going to heal his team to full health.
Yep, he's going to go and try to take a life down here, but of course the orb's going to be here to save his team. He might even take another life here, leaving 1 orb up on top of the Nana.
Definitely going to be able to do so, but again, that Miles doesn't have a lot of HP left, so all TRUEWHALE needs to do is auto-attack onto the Miles, and he's in a great spot.
Let's see what happens with TRUEWHALE. He really needs to pummel on this damage here, and he does go after. Look at all that healing's going to be coming up here. Can he get the Despair Stun to happen? He does get the Despair Stun, and I think that's the nail in the coffin right there, because Miles is that main source of damage for Big V. You saw it on his face. He did not want to see that happen there, and Miles is looking to get dropped right here with the Nana, giving him a second orb. You know it. He knows it. That is going to be it for Big V. Defense break lands with the additional turn. Nail in the coffin. TRUEWHALE in round 4, taking down Big V.
And history will be safe as there will be no repeat champion, but TRUEWHALE finally able to exercise his demons and make it onto the global stage with his victory over the reigning America's Cup champion Big V. TRUEWHALE